All right, welcome into Before Floor, an extension of Five on the Floor on the Five Reasons Sports Network, sponsored as usual by Biscayne Bay Brewing. This is the Pale Ale. Make sure you check out the Marlins Lager, also the Tropical Bay IPA. Support Miami Craft Beer. They support us. You can find them at BiscayneBayBrewing.com. Also, Biscayne Bay Brew on Twitter. Make sure that you ask for it. We're actually going to be doing something with them coming up next Friday. I'll have more details on that in the coming days. They're going to have a new brew house right downtown Miami, so walking distance from the arena. You can actually check it out on their Instagram feed. You can make sure that you check that out. Also sponsored tonight by Prize Picks. Use the code 5 FIVE. I saw that Greg already put his picks up there. Got a 100% match on your deposit, so you can play more than just the NBA if you want. You play college basketball today as well. There's some college basketball games going on, so make sure that you check that out. If you're baseball fans, you can do that once the baseball season starts too. All right, let's see who we've got tonight. I think it is what we're sort of calling our usual starting five. Plus Alejandro, our sixth man, who's actually down at the arena tonight. I don't even know if I should ask this question, but you're on time. I'm not surprised. You're a very punctual person. You haven't seen Alex, right? No chance. Okay, Alex is supposed to be there tonight as well. We got both of them there. I'm waiting for the text from Alex saying that he can't make it, which is going to piss me off because I would have gone tonight. All right, let's get right to it. Alejandro Vegas, our producer, is at the arena. We got Ricky J. Mark in the middle, Jonathan Ramlakan above me, Brady Hawk, and Greg Sylvander next to us. None of us are wearing those hideous new uniforms that the Heat are introducing that look like old Steeler or Pirate uniforms. That's good to know. Let's get right to the news of the day, though. Two former All-Star point guards are both playing tonight, or at least they're both active. Kyle Lowry for Toronto. They finally lost without him last night. They've been winning without him on a consistent basis. Goran Dragic is back for Miami. Let's go to you first tonight, Brady, because you were on these calls. I was a little bit surprised with the Dragic news because you were on. I wasn't stunned, I guess, because they did make him available for shoot-around today, which tipped it off a little. But his comments earlier today made it sound like he was going to be very cautious with this, and then all of a sudden he's active. Were you surprised?
Yeah, I was definitely surprised. I did not only think that he wasn't going to play tonight, but I thought it was going to be a couple games. He kept saying things like, I'm going to need a lot more work to go to be able to get back into things, and making those type of comments. I was kind of like, I don't know why he's even questionable because it doesn't seem like he'd be able to play, but he is available. So obviously that means he is fully healthy if he's available tonight, because they would not just play him if he wasn't 100%. So that says a lot. So we'll see what happens. I think that's going to be big for them. They need an on-ball player, especially off the bench. They need somebody they can put in the ball in their hands. And I think this is a good thing, especially because they don't have to worry so much about staggering Jimmy and Bam all game. Now they can, rely on him as much as possible, trying to work him in.
Yeah, no doubt. But again, I was surprised. I think Hero may be a couple more days based on Spoelstra's comments the other day. By the way, we can't amnesty Toledo. He doesn't make enough money. It doesn't really help us or to stretch him either way. Greg, let's get to some other news here, though, because I know Barry just had an article where essentially he pretty much named all the players that we've been naming. I mean, that's not a shot at Barry. I mean, we know what the names are.
Yeah, it's common knowledge.
Right. I mean, Bielitsa, Gay, Rudy Gay, etc., Boogie Cousins, Blake Griffin. A lot of the people we talked about on the pod with Bobby Marks, which, by the way, went up at lunchtime today. It's actually that is the most downloaded pod I've ever had for the first 7 hours. So make sure you check that out. Bobby went over pretty much every scenario with Greg and I last night. He's as good as it comes, and he's been on the pod before. But, Greg, the Boogie Cousins rumors are getting a little bit more they're getting louder at this point. I mean, at this point, would you expect it to happen?
I'm not going to be held to that standard because I don't want my mentions to get blown up. But I'll just say that of all the players that we have talked about recently, it's the guy that the more and more I ask around, people are appearing to be as open-minded to it as ever. So I don't know what it'll transpire and become. Some of what was going on in LA in Lakerland with who they released and stuff like that kind of looked like they were setting up to maybe sign Boogie. And that he's always going to have ties to that organization. But Miami was close that offseason prior to the last. So we'll see what happens. But there's smoke there.
We also did speak to Bobby Flay, Ben, so that's coming out tomorrow. That's our food pod with Tito Benash. All right, let's go to you on this. Well, first, I'm going to get to Ricky next, but Alejandro, what is it like there? Because I know they're letting in more fans now at this point. Were you sniffed by the dogs? Because I guess that the dogs have a 90% COVID accuracy rate.
Yeah, I was. I'm sorry, it's loud music right now. So I was the first time they just walked around you, but this time he actually kind of like licked my fingers. It was kind of weird. But yes, they've been doing it. It's the third time I come, and they do it every time. It's real quick. It's really fast, so not really
Just
bothering.
make sure you don't eat. Make sure you don't eat. I've made that mistake. I've tried to sneak Cheetos in and sort of eat them underneath my papers, and they'll jump on you immediately. Let's get to Ricky on another subject here. We talked to Bobby Marks about the All-Star game. I saw Devin Booker just got named, which I was expected. That's why that whole that outrage yesterday was kind of ridiculous because you knew he was going to replace Anthony Davis. Bobby Marks said though that for him, the single biggest snub for either conference was Bam. I know Spoelstra came out today and said, we think of them as all-stars. I think there was a lot of thinking from 2 weeks ago the way we were playing. Do you think in any way, A, do you think he was snubbed? And B, do you think this could propel them in any way?
Okay, so we'll start with, can this propel them? I think yes, because Bam Adebayo is the kind of player where if he feels wronged, he will take that to the bank. If we remember him being left off the team, that Team USA disaster that Coach Pop coached the other last year or so, he had a pretty good year as a result of that. I think it's good for Bam that he's not going there for COVID-related reasons and all that other stuff. I'm glad he's staying in Miami. Not only that, but he'll use this as energy. Secondly, as far as being snubbed, I said that. Well, yeah, as far as being snubbed, well, you could easily make the case for someone like Domantas Sabonis out of Indiana. If you just compare the numbers, which a lot of people like to do strictly, he's got better numbers across the board generally than Bam, and his team is in, I believe, 4th right now, the Pacers. Typically, if you were to go with that, that would be a no-brainer. Bam has had his ups and he's had his downs this season, and I think that might have been held against him.
By the way, we have a realtor here on the chat. Use 5reasonsrealtor.com. Make sure you type that one in. There you go. Request with Cousins. We're going to send all the new players there. The other big topic today, Jonathan, as we kind of swing around here, was the schedule. That was released today at 3 o'clock. It is predictably soft for Miami. I don't think that I guess it was tweeted out maybe by Christian Hernandez that it's like the 6th easiest schedule. We have actually got something up here on the YouTube channel. Also, want to say for the YouTube channel, if you're not subscribed yet, Brady's got a new series on here called Brady's Breakdowns. Marco Romo did what was it? Know your opponent. What is Marco's called? Marco's not even on Twitter anymore. Marco,
it's know your enemy.
Know your enemy.
Yeah.
So
I need to start doing guts check. Damn it.
And then, well, you got to get guts check on there. Okay, so we've got Know Your Enemies. So the Raptors is on there. I've got 2 new videos on from yesterday. So we're going to be churning out more videos here. Jonathan does the good, the bad, and the ugly reviews off of every game. But we do have the schedule up here on the site as well. It doesn't look that bad. I mean, we knew that the West Coast trip was out of the way, but they have more games, to play than others. The back-to-backs are not awful. They even got a few national TV games, which I wasn't quite sure they were going to get, although they don't typically play well on those. Your thoughts on it?
I feel like it's a great break for us overall. Going into these games, right now we're having a little bit of momentum, so hopefully we can finish out until the All-Star break with a little bit more momentum, and then just have a little bit of a run against those easier teams. I think we're 10th right now in the East. So once we have these easier teams, and we have a lot of these teams that are battling for the same playoff positions with us as well, it's really just going to help us go forward. And I feel like seeing how easy the schedule is, comparatively to what we had so far, it's going to really just allow us to be better, paired up with, like what Ricky said, the added motivation for missing the All-Star for Bam and Jimmy.
Let's get to tonight, guys. Let's close it up with this. This is a big game for a February game. Toronto's been playing better, lost yesterday, but to a quality team. Miami's looks like they may be battling them for 4th or 5th seed, maybe as we sort of go forward. I saw the Boston Celtics owner today came that Rusty Pelican reference. That's an inside reference that goes back to 2014. So anyway, that's a good one. But
I think I remember that.
You remember that? Everybody thought they saw them saw Dan Gilbert at the Rusty Pelican in Miami. That's right. I got stood up by a girl at the Rusty Pelican. Anyway, let's not continue that conversation. Sorry.
Interesting.
Let's Boston's comments. The Celtics owner said, "We're not a contender." I can't imagine Mickey Arison ever saying that, right? Like that's not the Heat's view on things. But it does seem like with Boston slipping, Toronto might be the team that they're competing with for a 4-5 type situation. So let's go around here right now. Who likes the Heat tonight?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'll take it. You know, and I feel like this is a team that we can, would definitely get a win against. It's not going to be an easy win. Toronto is a team that's really well coached. They move the ball really well. They have, I think, 5 or 6 different guys that score in double figures. Like you said, Kyle Lowry's coming back, so that's just going to be an additional threat, especially when it comes to the point of attack defense for us. But I feel like this is still a game that we can grind out and win, just like how we've had, against a little bit lesser teams recently, but still grinded a game to get a win.
I'm not totally convinced yet. I mean, granted, the Heat are 7-3 in their last 10 games, averaging almost 110 points, and they've beaten some pretty decent teams. But I'm not yet convinced that this isn't just a good stretch followed by a really bad stretch. Once we get out of this and we're able to keep it going, then I'll start calling, games in favor of the Heat. But right now, I'm just going to assume that Toronto's going to find a way to beat this team late in the game.
I think Miami gets a split in the next 2, actually. I'm not quite sure which it's going to be, but they got Utah in the next one, which is difficult. But again,
no, they're going to get spanked.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm not entirely sure.
They get that one.
I think that may be a surprise. But Greg, I'll go to Greg, Brady, and Alejandro to finish.
This one's going to be tough. Obviously, I think Van Vliet's going to be looking to validate himself as a player who should be on the All-Star team, but hopefully Bam and Jimmy will be doing a little bit of the same.
Or
Lowry back, Goran back. So there's lots of elements that way, but I'm looking at it defensively. We've talked about Jimmy and him spearheading the defense and the improvements on that side of the ball. Last 2 opponents, they held him under 100 points. They've held 9 opponents under 100 points. That's tied for second in the league behind only the Lakers. So, they got to stick to the defense. That's where we're at.
I love this. Ricky's got no guts, but I agree with him. That comes in there. I feel like that's where a lot of Heat fans are.
I'm about to eat a burrito. Believe me, I got guts.
No, I know. That's true. Also, for those who came in late, Goran is playing, or he's active. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to play. He's active. Hero is inactive. Brady, what do you like tonight?
I like Miami, and I agree with Greg when you mentioned the defensive points. It's kind of crazy how Miami and Toronto always trend in the same direction no matter what. They both struggled early on. They're both beginning to turn it around, and they're both actually, their strength is defensive end. Toronto's been playing very good defense as well. So I do think it's going to come down to if Miami can sustain the defensive ability. I think the offense will be there when it needs to be. If Goran can get a bucket or 2 when they need it, that's what they've been missing. But if they can continue the defensive things, in the Lakers game, I think that was probably one of their best defensive games overall. They, Bam basically said he's not going to go over on soft switches. And then last game, that kind of went out the window. So I think this is another game that they're going to have to try to eliminate that and not allow a guy like Van Vliet or others to just get at whatever matchup they want.
By the way, Brady's breakdown that's up right now is about Precious. So check that out. Obviously, we're going to see him. A question came in here about Porzingis. We had Bobby Marks on last night, who we know that the Heat have looked at Porzingis before. Okay, Greg and we know that. They have.
They've gotten way closer than anyone would like to admit, too.
They were close. So there is interest there. Bobby Marks last night told us he doesn't think KP is actually going to get traded. So we'll see. We'll see what direction they go in. He thinks they're actually going to hold him. I think Dallas's win last night actually was kind of important because they're on the fringe of deciding what to do. Let's go to you, Alejandro, to close. You're at the arena.
Yeah.
Alex is supposed to be there.
No,
what do you like?
Yeah, you know what? The Miami Heat 7-3 in the last 10, and they should be 9-1. So they're actually in a good moment, even though all this storm it's around Heat Twitter going on. So I take the Heat tonight. They're probably losing on Friday against the Utah Jazz, but they're winning tonight.
Well, you realize you're there tonight. You're there tonight. It's your fault if they lose. It's not mine.
Because they won against the Knicks when they came here, so it's fine.
Beating the Knicks doesn't count, Alejandro.
Yes, it does. They're better than we are right now.
That's true. Alejandro is going to stick around. He's got videos from today.
Yeah.
Everything, stuff that happened at shoot-around. So check out those videos. Again, I recommend check out Marco's new series, Know Your Enemy. He's going to be doing that before every game now. Brady's new series, Brady's Breakdown. I've got something on the All-Star team and something on Boogie Cousins up on the site, and also Good, Bad, and the Ugly with Jonathan. You'll get that new one tomorrow. We'll Woj break the news that Toledo has been released from 5R. Actually, he just won't credit us. I'll break the news, and he just won't credit us. And then he'll block everybody for saying that Shams had it first. That's the way that this works around NBA Twitter. Toledo's not fired, but yeah, his ass better get there in the next hour because I was going to go tonight. All right. Check out prizepicks.com. Use the code 5.
Morning, Goran.
Morning, Tim.
How are you?
Good.
How are you feeling, and how anxious are you to finally get back out there?
I'm feeling okay. Still need to do a lot of work. The ankle is getting better, so I'm on the right track.
How? I know it's hard for you to sit out, but especially when you're not with your guys for a long trip, how hard was it to stay home for those 2 weeks and watch those games on TV?
Yeah, it was tough. I want to be a part of that, but I had to think about my recovery. But luckily we got technology, so I was on FaceTime most of the time with the guys, and talk to them and wish them luck for the game. And I watch every game.
One more for you, Jay. The second half of the season, the schedule comes out today, and it's pretty much going to be like the first half. I mean, teams are going to play every other day, it seems like, or it's going to be really, really hectic. Knowing that it's going to be a really jam-packed schedule the rest of the way, did that affect your decision, and as far as how smart you have to be about when you can come back and all that? Because there's no break, there's no rest for anybody when you get back out there.
Yeah, definitely. I need to be smart with this ankle. This injury was pretty bad, and that's why I was out for 2 weeks. So we'll see how the ankle gonna react. I went through some hard practices, and we'll see. I mean, definitely. I want to be 100% when I get back and help my team. So.
Thanks, G. Good to see you, man.
Thank you.
Next we have Ira Winderman.
Goran, I know that Spo is really good about keeping in touch with players when they're away from the team and maintaining that contact. How much contact did you have either with coach or with players, or just try to stay sort of in the loop with everyone as you were away from the team?
I mean, I was in texting, with coaches, players. Then I FaceTime a couple of times before the game, and Queenie went around the locker room and say hello to everybody and just wish him good luck. And that was it basically. Texting and just try to stay as much as possible connected with the team. I know it's a little bit different when they're on the road, but I had my hands full here with my recovery, and try to get better, and had a lot of work. So
I'm also curious, when you're watching a game from afar and you can't be part of it, what's it like, say, to watch a game like the Warriors game when the team is up 19, it's looking so good, and even at the end there still are chances. I know what fans feel like. I know that even some media might kick a table or something every now and then. Take us into the Dragic household. What's it like to watch a moment like that?
I mean, it's tough. The first half we play well. Like you said, we were up 19, and then the game kind of slip out of our hands. We couldn't make shots again. Then we give them a couple of easy ones, and they creep back and take that win. But it's probably that's the hardest way to do. To watch home and why you guys didn't do that or that. When you're on the floor, everything it looks way different. The ball doesn't want to give you don't have a good possession, especially defensively, and then the tie of the game can turn around quick, especially in NBA, and we already seen that in the past, and that's why we need to be focused all 48 minutes and try to finish games strong.
And last question. In 2018, it was the last minute you were named as an all-star reserve and got in that way. When you see what Jimmy and Bam have done, including honestly going back to the playoffs and is being part of the defending Eastern Conference champions. And then you saw the All-Star announcements last night. Was there maybe a little bit of a surprise that not only didn't they both get in, but that neither got in? Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. I was surprised. Both of those guys deserve to be there. What they did last year was amazing, and even this year when they were playing games, they put huge numbers on there. And yeah, definitely they deserve it. But in the end, I don't know who's making those decisions. Or it's media or coaches or players. Yeah, it was just a lot of different votes that I don't agree with, but it is what it is.
Thank you, Goran.
Next, we have Jason Jackson.
Hey, Goran, good to see you again. Question for you about the schedule even further. For the majority of your career, obviously you have 6 months of your life kind of plotted out in front of you. We've all gotten used to all of this being so different now, but how strange has it been just kind of been on pause to just see how the next layer of things we're going to roll out?
The whole season is strange. The whole season, nothing surprised me anymore. So you just need to go, with the flow, go with each day by day, and not to use any excuses and do your work and be professional. On the end of the day, everybody gonna have almost the same schedule, and we'll see. It's still a long way to go until end of the season. We have a lot of more games, and the only focus should be to win all those games. Most of those games. So try to get to the playoffs.
All right. Up next, we have Anthony Chang.
Hey, Goran. When I say that you and Bam and Jimmy have played, I think 66 minutes together all season, and you guys are pretty much halfway through the year. What does that say about what you guys have been through as a team? Just not only with the injuries, with the protocol issues and all that, and just not having a lot of the guys available at the same time.
It's too bad that we couldn't play more minutes together, but maybe for something else it's good. We hit adversity right away, and I think so. Then when we're gonna make the playoffs, we already gonna be battle tested, and luckily for us, we have a lot of guys who are playing well, who can step in and finish the job, and that's why we have a deep team. So I try to look at those things on a positive note, and hopefully now when I come back and when AB comes back, and basically have a full roster and try to play as better as we can.
And when you're watching on TV during that road trip and you see Kendrick Nunn doing what he did, just the level of efficiency that he had, what growth have you seen from him this season from last year?
We already seen that he can do those things. Last season he had tremendous season. Before that break, he was putting the same numbers. So we know what he's capable of doing. The only question with him was consistency, and finally now I think so the last 8-9 games he's shown that, and he was tremendous for this team, and he still is. The player that we want him to be aggressive, to take shots, and to make decisions, and he's playing amazing basketball right now.
Next, we have Mike DiPasquale with WSVN Channel 7.
Goran, good to see you today. I want to follow up on the second half of the season schedule coming out. Is it more a sprint right now because of the way it's condensed to solidify a playoff spot?
Sprint. I would not say a sprint, but every game counts. Especially, it's a bunch of teams that they are bunched together. It's only 1 or 2 games, separates us from the fifth or sixth spot. So, every game counts from now on, and we have to be focused and prepared well for those games, and try to win as many games as we can.
Thank you, Goran.
All right, that's it, G. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that was Goran Dragic. Now let's listen from Erik Spoelstra earlier today.
Hey, Coach, we will get started with our Winderman.
Erik, first of all, how encouraging or heartening is it to have Goran back in the mix with you guys?
Yeah, it was really cool to see him yesterday. You know, we've been in touch, but it was great seeing him in the gym smiling yesterday and then going through the shoot around. I know how badly he wanted to be on the trip and then how badly he wanted to get back to it. So it's good. It feels like we're getting there. You know, Tyler won't play tonight, but we're getting closer to whole.
I'm sorry, and even Chris being active or having a chance to be active again, just how good does that feel also?
Yeah, I would have used him somewhere on the trip. I'm not talking big minutes. But in the minutes that he's played this year, he's produced, and it was just really unfortunate, the timing of his injury. But he feels great, and he's had a really good couple weeks of work.
Erik, not to denigrate the players who made it, because there are a bunch of deserving players, but here you're defending Eastern Conference champion Jimmy Butler coming off a stretch of 4 triple-doubles in 5 games, Bam putting up numbers at least the same as when he was an All-Star last year. As a coach, where does it sort of leave you to see that none of your players made the All-Star game when a couple are having really good seasons?
Yeah, it is really tough to see that, especially so early on. We still have a half a season to go, and a lot of the narrative can change. Probably, people were quick to write us off, even with the, subconscious voting because of our record. But since then, it already has changed a little bit. Both of them are Bam and JB are clearly all-stars. It's unfortunate it didn't shape up that way.
Do you think they're the kind of players who this fuels, or do you think they have so much more fuel anyway that it's sort of just, an ancillary thing?
You have to ask them. I know their fuel is something much deeper, than the all-star nod. It ultimately is about winning and helping this group achieve what we want to. And we have quite a bit of ways to go to improve as a team.
Thank you, Erik.
All right, Coach, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, that was Erik Spoelstra today. No Tyler Hero tonight. Goran Dragic will be back. And now let's hear from Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo from a couple of nights ago.
Definitely say we got better. I feel like it was one of those situations. It felt like the bubble again, where we got a chance to really be cohesive and feel like brothers again, instead of we always separated in different locker rooms or different. Like when we're at home, we can't really hang out with each other. So being able to be in the hotel and and be safe, it feels like the bubble. So, we're building that brotherhood again.
Your game tonight, with Al Horford out, there was a chance for you to attack, and you did. A lot of games you load up on the assists, you facilitate. Tonight, it seemed like you had a little bit more of an eye on the basket. How important was it for you to be aggressive, especially you on the end of a 7-game trip, them on the second night of a back-to-back, for you to sort of bring some force?
Yeah. I knew we didn't want to end this road trip with an L. So, my whole mindset was I got to keep being aggressive like I have for the past, I don't know how many games. But just keeping that eye on the prize, man. We got the dub tonight. So I have a good ride back home. I got some food in there waiting for me, Ira. So, I'm ready to eat and get on this plane so I can see my mom.
Nothing like seeing mom. Thank you, Bam. Have a good trip.
Next, we have Brendan Tobin, 790 the ticket.
Bam on the attack in the basket. The chemistry out with Kendrick Nunn tonight. He was finding you a lot on the lobs. Tonight, in particular, with your chemistry, and just how have you seen that grown throughout the season with him?
Just the power work in practice, and just being able to, like I said, hang out in the hotel. Did he disappear? Did he leave? He's still on? Oh, there you go. He just left. But just building that bond, just getting to know him. Went through All-Star together, so we got a good feel for one another's tendencies on the court. So it's great for us. Also, I respect you. You always on my side. I've been hearing your podcast sometimes. You're a good one. You're a real one.
Appreciate it, man. Good game.
Next, we have Nick with WSVN Channel 7.
Hey, Bam, I know you touched upon it a little bit with Ira at the end, but just, 7-game road trip. You guys have been on the road for forever. Just how excited are you just to get home at this point after what seems like you guys have been on the road for forever?
Man, I'm so ready to get home. I want to see my mom. I want to see my little dog. I'm tired of using Uber Eats. It's adding up. I'm ready to get a home-cooked meal, get in my bed. So, I get to enjoy that coming off this W.
Next, we have Christos Saltas.
My man.
How are you?
I'm good, dog. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I would
What
like to
time
ask
is
you,
it
7 a.m.
there? You're dedicated. I love it. I love it.
I would like to ask you how important for you as a team was to close this road trip with 3 straight wins, and especially with the way that you won both the games against the Kings, the Lakers, and tonight. And what would you like to carry on about the next games?
Just keep building off of this. But it just felt great. We was 3-3 through this road trip before this game, so going home with a winning record is good to us. So we just keep building off this 3-game streak and just keep streaking.
Thank you.
Next, we have Mateo Mayorga.
Hello, ma'am.
What's up?
Is it for you to make the All-Star team this year?
Say it again.
How important is it for you to make the All-Star team this season?
It's important. I want to be an All-Star. Two-time All-Star don't sound bad. But, I get it. It's politics in this, so, it's a sliding scale. So when is the announcements? Tomorrow? Or?
I am not sure at this point.
Oh, okay.
I think there's tomorrow. I think reserves are tomorrow.
Well, it's this week, so we'll find out one day this week. I hope I'm All-Star. I'm not, but, politics in this, sliding scale. So I get it.
Thank you.
All right, Bam, that's it. Appreciate it.
Black Lives Matter, people.
All right, that was Bam Adebayo. Let's hear now from Jimmy Butler a couple of nights.
A few days ago, you said you guys were a few a ways away from being a good team. What steps do you think you guys took during this road trip to to move in that direction?
Played a little bit better defense, rebounded the basketball, and all in all, just played hard. The second efforts that we give on a lot more plays now is the difference in the game. I think that's just been what it's about.
And that fourth quarter today, you were able to take the fourth quarter off. How nice was that to kind of see the guys, gain get some separation and you not have to go in there?
I love to see it. And I really do enjoy watching my teammates play, especially if I get the rest of my body. Don't get me wrong, that's good too. But when they're clicking like that, when they're rolling, let them do what they do. They were playing incredibly well on both ends of the floor. I need everybody to gain as much confidence as possible.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Next, we have Ira Winderman.
Jimmy, has this felt like as much of a roller coaster as it sort of looked like the blowout loss to the Jazz, falling to the shorthanded Clippers, the 19-point lead against the Warriors, and then coming back with sort of 3 statements? Did it feel like that wild of a ride? And what's your sort of summation of the 7 games overall?
No, not really. I think that's just a league for you. Let your guard down. Bad things happen. And then I think sometimes we just start making stuff up, getting way far away from who we are as a basketball team. And that hurts us at times. Doesn't end well for us, I should say that. But we get it. We understand it. We just can't let it happen so very often. And that's why we won 3. You know, we're in it together. We win together, we lose together. But let's keep winning together.
Was this the kind of game you felt it was more important to be a facilitator and get guys going early? It seemed like your offense came a little bit later. Was that sort of the thing that after on a 7-game trip at the end, just to get guys going a little bit more before you got into attack mode? Thank you.
I mean, if you really pay attention to how I play, I normally always do that. It's because I got so much trust and faith in my teammates to make shots. And if you're open, it's my job to get you the ball. I have the ball in my hands a lot. Bam has the ball in his hands a lot. So we have guys that can put the ball in the basket. Like I said, I always got the easy job. Guys, KO, Duncan, Max, and they put the ball in the hole.
Thank you, Jamie.
Next we have Nick with WSVN Channel 7.
Hey, Jimmy, Bam talked about the fact that, he misses his mom. He wants a home-cooked meal, after what you guys have been on the road for, feels like forever. How excited are you just to be able to get home and enjoy yourself now back in Miami?
I mean, it's always good to be home, sleep in your own bed, drink Big Face coffee every morning. It's always good. Get back to my tennis lessons. A lot of things that I've been missing out on. Obviously, family, my people. But I really miss my tennis game.
All right, Jimmy, thank you.
Peace. Yo, can't nobody beat me in tennis, man. Don't y'all think y'all can?
All right, that was Jimmy Butler. Thank you very much for staying here with us. So no Goran Dragic. Or yes, Goran Dragic, no Tyler Hero for tonight's game. Let's hear now from Duncan Robinson from a couple of nights ago when they beat the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Shooters got to keep shooting. Even if they miss, they just can't stop pulling the trigger. We saw that not only with you, but also with Max. Rough first half, but a couple of really big threes when he came back in. How hard is it when you're going through a rough patch and the ball's there and you're in your sweet spot, to keep pulling the trigger like that, and sort of take us through, for a shooter like you and for Max, how important is it to keep going?
I don't want to speak for Max, but I'll speak just in general, and that we're fortunate to have a locker room and a coaching staff and teammates that encourage us to continue to be aggressive and take shots and hunt shots, seek shots. So that makes it a lot easier. Obviously, it's really just about getting good looks and taking good shots. The moment you stop taking them, then you're messing with the offense and messing with the game. So. It's whether it's Max, myself, or other guys in this locker room, we got a lot of confidence that guys are going to step up and make shots.
You guys were incredibly shorthanded, well, seemingly all season, but again tonight with Tyler out at the last minute. But to see what Max and Andre did, coming in, and even Precious had some moment with the alley-oops also, how important was it that you were able to get something from, even with the starters, something from almost everyone tonight?
Yeah, that was huge. This road trip has definitely been a little bit of a grind, like you said, with some guys out and, basically playing every other day with a back-to-back mixed in there. So it's great to get contributions from a variety of guys. We're certainly going to need them all season. It's going to be different people on different nights.
Thank you.
Next we have Anthony Chang.
Hey, Duncan, I think it was less than a week ago, you guys had lost your third straight, in a painful loss. How different do things feel now, like 5 days later? And what do you feel like you guys learned about maybe the on-court identity of this team during this trip? Understanding you guys are obviously missing some key guys, but what do you think you learned about yourselves during this trip?
I think we've grown a lot as a team. We've improved. We understand, what it takes to win. And I think that, obviously there's guys in this locker room that know that already, but collectively, I think we grew in that area on this trip and really began to understand, the importance of always having a sense of urgency, no matter the circumstance, no matter the game, who we're playing or when we're playing or whatever. So definitely, obviously right now to get these last 3 is a good feeling, but now we got to go back and not rest on it, but continue to push forward.
Offense last season was such a big strength for you guys, and it's shown some progress as of late. But defensively, I think you guys are a top 10 unit as of now. What do you like about what you're seeing on that end? And what I guess improvement have you seen on that end of the court over the past few weeks?
Well, we have some elite, individual defenders, which obviously helps, and really the ability for Bam to switch, pick and rolls does a lot for us in flattening teams out. But I just think we've been more connected on that end. Understanding, we got to cover for each other and be in spots and help people out. Just because we got to move, as a team on that end of the floor.
Thanks, Duncan.
All right, Duncan, looks like that's it. Thank you.
Thanks.
Right, that was Duncan Robinson from a couple of nights ago. This is the starting lineup for tonight. Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk, Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson. Not the same one they've been using for the last games, 5 or 6 games back. So Bam Adebayo, Kelly Olynyk, Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Kendrick Nunn. Same lineup as they've been using in the last couple of games. So thank you very much for joining us during the pregame show. And we will be back right after the game. We will be tweeting a lot of stuff, sending videos, pictures, and all that on Twitter. So you can follow me at AlejandroVG32. Follow me down this Twitter handle, and we'll be sharing with you guys throughout the game. Thank you very much, and remember to join us for the post-game show here on Fire's YouTube channel. Have a good one. Enjoy the game. Go Heat.